My name is Serena, and I'm a Somatic Educator and Mindfulness Coach. Go ahead and find a comfortable seat. That could mean your chair at your desk. Just scoot your chair a little back so there's some distance between you and your work, and find your feet on the ground. Your feet don't have to be completely flat on the ground, but you may find that helpful. And I would recommend that you scoot a little forward in your chair so that if you were leaning back and finding most of the support through your torso through the back of your chair, come forward so that you can feel the weight of your torso passing through your seat into your chair and imagine it continuing into the ground. So feet on the ground, seat in the chair, and go ahead and allow your hands to rest in your lap, either palms up or palms down, hands resting on your legs. We're going to take a few minutes to pay attention to our somatic sensations, which just means we're paying attention to our bodily sensations. Since we're going to tune into sensations that tend to fall into the background of our awareness, I do recommend that you close your eyes. If you do not want to close your eyes, let your gaze drop slightly and find a soft focus in the room. So we're going to take a few minutes here to not get out of our heads, but instead use our thinking to tune into ourselves as a whole. This idea of getting out of our heads and into our body can be helpful at times when we feel like our mind is racing and we're thinking of the future and we're not in touch with ourselves. It can be helpful, but it continues this idea of the mind and body being separate. And I want you to play with the idea instead that the mind and body are one. That the mind-body connection already exists, and that this time that we're taking now is to cultivate an awareness of that connection. So we're going to use our awareness of our body, of somatic sensations, to become a little more present. So first, notice all your points of support, which looks like your feet on the ground, your seat in the chair, and even your hands resting in your lap. Just noticing all these points of contact. Are there any places where you're pushing down a bit? Seeking a little more support or trying to find something? And can you instead allow yourself to be supported? Can you receive an upward support from the earth without pushing into it? Is there anywhere in you where you are pulling up? Maybe you're trying to find a little lengthening, a little bit of quote unquote proper posture. And can you let that go a little bit? And allow yourself to really be supported, to be held here as we sit for just a few minutes. So we're sitting here and we're paying attention to our points of contact, our places of support. We're imagining an up from those points of contact, letting ourselves receive support. But we don't have to stay completely still. And we can experience ourselves a little bit through movement. So maybe you want to play with a little bit of rocking forward and back in the chair. And this can be so small. Just the slightest bit of rocking forward and a little bit of rocking back. If someone saw you, they would think maybe you weren't even moving. But we're paying attention to this tiny small movement to see how that affects the rest of you. What shifts and changes with this small movement? And if you don't enjoy this rocking, this very slight front and back, maybe just a little wiggle of the toes. What is it like to press a little bit into your big toe, into the floor, and then a little bit into your pinky toe, into the floor? Maybe instead you press your fingertips lightly into your legs. Can you imagine a little bit of a down through that little bit of pressure that sends you a little up as you find some space in that opposition, down to come up. These are just tiny movements, a little bit of awareness of our points of support. But has something changed already? Are you a little different just from taking a little bit of time to pay attention to yourself? When life feels crazy and out of control, this is a small but effective way of taking your power back, because you are taking the time to pay attention to yourself. And I know this was short, so if you have more time, you're welcome to stay here longer. Play with those tiny movements. Come back to your points of support. And just notice. Be curious and be interested in what's happening in you. And when your time is done and you're ready to get back to your day, know that you can take this with you. That this little bit of time is money in the bank, that it will add up, and that you'll be able to build on it. And little by little, these breaks help you find your support in your day-to-day. Come back to this meditation anytime. Anytime you need to take a little time for yourself and want to take a little power back in a busy day that might feel a little out of control. You'll always have your points of support. Thank you.